Hello, equine enthusiasts. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay. If you're new here, hello, welcome. Today's video is all about tips for your first tip challenge. Now, this isn't going to be a from the beginning. This is more so kind of just around the competition itself. So tips for you and ways that you can approach the show to help kind of get you a little bit of a boost up from your competitors. For those of you that don't know what a tip challenge is, it's a 90 to 100 day training challenge for someone to get a wild Mustang and train them to be able to take them to a show and typically compete in hand. For me, when I went to the tip challenge, I saw a lot of people that didn't really know how to show, and that's more what I want to talk about than anything else, is those little bits of things that can help you improve to be able to get those little bit of bonus points you might need to sneak you into a higher placing. First thing I want to talk about is keeping up appearances, and that comes in two ways. You want to look professional for all of it, but you also want to act professional. As far as your look goes, you need to maintain professionalism. We don't want to go out there with really loud makeup. That's why I did my makeup kind of quiet and muted today, very natural. The show that I went to, it was 100 degrees and it didn't really matter to me. I still needed to wear long sleeve show clothes, and I'll put a picture of what I wore up here. Some people probably don't agree with being that all out, and I was dumb and wore black, but I think it looked more professional. While a lot of people think that you don't necessarily have to wear show clothes, I personally do, whether or not the rules say that. You really don't have to get anything crazy expensive, but you should find a nice button down that you could wear into your classes. Another thing, please, for the love of God, don't wear ripped jeans, don't wear blingy jeans, wear just nice plain jeans, whether that's blue jeans or black jeans, one of the two. Just make sure they don't have holes and not crazy blingy. That drives me nuts. As far as your hair goes, I wouldn't wear something like this. Curls are cute, yes, but to me they look a little bit less professional, and some people might disagree with this, but for me, I'd rather have my hair completely pulled back out of my face, zero flyaways. You guys can see I just chopped my hair off, so I can't give you the best example, but I always pull it back into a neat bun, super glue everything back with lots and lots of hairspray and gel, lots of bobby pins to keep it all in place, and then I have a hat or a helmet over it to keep things very neat and professional. Typically, if you're showing Western, you want to wear a Western show hat. If you're showing English, you want to wear an English cap or helmet. You can wear a helmet for Western wear. I just prefer the look of a hat. Lastly, also make sure that your boots are clean. Yes, you're going to be walking into arena, but we really don't want boots that are really worn and dirty. You just want to make sure you take a good rag to it and maybe even some conditioner to make those boots really shine. Keep in mind that for a lot of tip challenges, your handling conditioning also includes your visuals, so how you look as well as your horse. Now, as far as your horse goes, I do have a video that's coming out next week talking about how I would groom my horses for shows. And I take this very, very seriously. I come from a show world, so my horses are spotless before they go into the arena. Even Penny being a bay appy, I still would have her spotless before going in. No matter what, especially in the summer, I always, always, always give my horse a bath before a show. It doesn't have to be the day of, but at least the day before to make sure you get rid of any sort of excess debris, especially in the mane and tail. Things like bluing shampoo, baby powder, baby oil can all be things to really make your horse pop and stand out to your competitors. About a week or two before the show, you really want to load up on food. That was something I feel like I didn't do enough of. So Penny was a little bit ribby before the show. And because of the stress of the environment, horses tend to lose weight. So make sure that you load them up a little bit more, whether that's with grain or some extra hay, to really give them that cushion before you go into the show ring. Lastly, when it comes to the horses, I like a clipped horse. That's kind of controversial when it comes to Mustangs because you don't have to full clip them. I prefer the look of a good clip, whether that's just the legs and make sure the fetlocks aren't super, super hairy. I also will always clip a bridle path so that the halter lays neatly, especially in handling conditioning when you have to take the halter off your horse when I put it back on, I don't want to be messing with the mane at all. So I always clip a bridle pack. I've gone back and forth on whether or not to clip whiskers. I've seen a lot of benefits for horses and how much they use them with leaving those whiskers on there. For Penny, I at least trimmed hers down so that they weren't crazy long. Some people don't agree with that. It's super controversial. Whatever floats your boat. Clipping is not a requirement, but it's kind of one of those things that I consider to make your horse look a little bit neater. And if your horse is clipped and clean compared to the person next to you that maybe didn't do as good of a job in grooming, you can get those little bit of points to get you just that touch higher. Now, the second part of keeping up appearances is all about how you behave with your horse. At all times, you really should be professional. You never know who's going to be watching and whether or not the impression that you make by your stalls could affect how your judges judge you. A judge is supposed to just judge what's in the arena, but if they were to see something that was abusive or really unprofessional, that may leave a lingering effect on the way that they judge you. Our goal at these shows is to make sure that Mustangs have a good home, whether that's with us or with whoever we rehome them to. No matter what, we need to treat them with professionalism and kindness. Here's a few general showing tips that I think would be really beneficial to people that don't necessarily know how to show. This is a better way to hold yourself, and present your horse in a competition. A big thing that I saw a lot of was people touching their horses. This is a big pet peeve of mine because I've grown up thinking you should not have your hands on your horse in the middle of a show ring. It should never happen. At the end of the class, that might be one thing after you've acknowledged your judge and begin to move on, but really you shouldn't touch your horse, especially to give cues. You want to keep your cues as quiet as possible, meaning have your horse work off of your body language and the way you're moving instead of needing to physically force your horse into a different position. I've seen a lot of people that when they're walking their horses, they're letting them drag really far behind them. It's not professional looking at all, and anytime you're asking your horse to move forward, they should be at your shoulder or at least close by and moving off of your body language. If you lean forward, the horse walks forward. If you lean back, the horse slows down. Another thing that I missed that I'm really bummed about, and I'll explain why, you need to attempt every single obstacle, whether that's your handling conditioning class or your in-hand trail, or any other type of class that your tip challenge might put on. You need to approach every single obstacle and at least try it. If you know your horse doesn't like bridges, you need to at least walk up and offer the horse the chance. First of all, you never know what your horse is going to do at a show. Maybe they're going to attempt to go over it that one time that they haven't done before. The other thing to think about is your judge is watching for your horsemanship. If you can attempt it and ask your horse to go over it and they see that, those judges are potentially going to give you a half point or 1 point to count for that attempt that you made. Personally, I lost third place overall because I did not do the second side pass to the right. Penny wasn't side passing to the left during our in-hand trail, and I asked her to just side to the left. She wasn't doing it, and from there I just kind of gave up and moved on. If I had merely attempted a side pass to the other direction like it was written in the pattern, I would have gotten third place, if not higher, overall in the entire competition because I missed out on third place by 0.5 points. Another thing to think about is these horses are only 90 days out of the wild. We've worked with them for a matter of 3 months, and because of that, we need to give them the time and space to think through the environment that they're in. When it came to working with Penny at the show, I knew that asking her for any sort of high energy action would cause her to spiral out of control. So a lot of times when we were in the warm-up arena, I merely asked her to just walk with me or do some haunch turns, forehands, stops, backing up, anything that was really calm and quiet. It's really important at these shows to not overwork your horses physically or mentally. Physically for the obvious ramifications, but mentally we need to make sure that these horses are still stable enough and not exhausted at the end of the day. A lot of judges at these shows are absolutely wonderful to talk to. I've gone to a lot of shows in my life, whether they were tip challenges, open shows, 4-H, equestrian team. I've gone to a lot of shows, and a lot of judges absolutely appreciate when you come up and ask them things that you can improve. And who knows, you might get something that you really didn't expect out of that conversation and things for you to work on in the future, whether it's for this tip challenge or more. Last thing to remember is the 2 C's, calm and confident. Your horse is relying on you. Just like the entire performance is relying on you and what you do, you have to maintain presence of calm and confident with what you're doing. Keep your chin up, smile, shoulders back, look like you know exactly what you're doing. If your horse decides to have a little freak out moment, you just move on to the next thing like it's no big deal and you pretend it didn't happen. In the show ring, it's all about the presence that you give. You have to maintain the confident and calm persona. Just don't forget to smile and breathe. If that's all you remember in your class, that is okay. Smile and breathe and move on to the next obstacle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video helped you as far as any sort of tips and tricks for your first tip challenge. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And if you've done a tip challenge, let me know how you did. I love to see all the progress of all the Mustangs that we are all so passionate about. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.